Hey leaders, let's talk about the thing that nobody wants to admit. Your team might be falling apart quietly. Not because they're underperforming and not because they're unmotivated, but because the way we work together is broken. People aren't leaving for higher salaries or a better title, and we all know you don't quit your job, you quit your boss. But the reality is they're leaving because their collaboration feels disconnected. Feedback feels unclear, and too often the day-to-day feels too much like survival than progress. This is where improv helps. Not as entertainment, but as a toolkit. Because the way that improvisers build scenes is the same way that strong teams build trust. Here's what your employees can learn from improv that directly impacts retention. Affirmation. Saying yes and makes people feel heard and valued. When ideas are acknowledged instead of dismissed, people stay engaged. Period. Co-creation. In improv, nobody carries the burden of a scene alone. That's collaboration. It reduces burnout and increases shared ownership of the project or whatever you're working on. Recovery. Mistakes are part of the process. Improv normalizes the bounce back rather than placing blame on the person that made the mistake. And that builds resiliency instead of reactivity to negative situations. The last thing improv teaches is great presence. Improv demands attention. When teammates are truly tuned into each other, the work stops being transactional and starts to feel human again. The result? People feel connected, supported, valued. All the things that you want in an organization, especially if you're looking to retain your top talent. In fact, Gallup reports that disengaged employees cost organizations over $1 trillion last year in lost productivity. Retention isn't just a people issue, it's a performance one. Now, we know improv won't solve every organizational issue, but it gives teams the tools to face those challenges together with more honesty and more agility and more trust. Retention starts when people feel like they belong, like their voice matters, like they're a part of something worth building. That's the power of improv at work. And it might be the reset that your team needs.